net A, but when sending this update to R6, it increments the AS pass. But when R4 sends this update to R5, it doesn't increment the AS pass. Why? Because in the same AS, we don't need to we shouldn't increase the AS pass. Because of that, we have two types of behavior in BGP. One type of behavior in BGP is inside of the network, and other types in between the AS. Inside of the AS, between the AS. Inside of the AS, we use the behavior of BGP that is called iBGP. And between the networks, we are using the behavior of BGP, some kind of behavior of BGP that we call it eBGP. iBGP and eBGP. iBGP and eBGP is the abbreviation of external BGP and internal BGP. Maybe you ask me that BGP is an exterior gateway protocol. Why we should use BGP inside of the AS? Here there is an important note. Look at, we use iBGP between R4 and R5 inside the network, but for advertising external networks, we don't use BGP inside of the networks, intra of AS, for advertising intra networks, for example, internal networks or IGP networks. Okay, BGP can be work inside of AS or intra of AS, but for external network, it's okay. You can use BGP for advertising external networks between two internal router. It's okay. We didn't use BGP inside of the AS for advertising internal routes. We use it for advertising external routes, and this is okay. Okay, very good. We have two types of behavior of BGP. First, eBGP, external BGP. This means that BGP is working between external routers that are not inside an AS, but they are inside of other AS or different AS. For example, R1 and R4. It's okay. And maybe another example is between R1 and R2 we are using now eBGP. But between R3 and R2 we are using iBGP. And again between the R3 and R4 we are using eBGP again. And then between the, for example, R6 and R5 we are using eBGP. Okay, it's okay. And then again between R3 and R4 we are using eBGP, external BGP. Okay, very good. We have some similarities between eBGP and iBGP and some differences between iBGP and eBGP. We should talk about all of these similarities and also differences. But for now, you understand the different behavior about the AS pass attribute in eBGP and iBGP. In eBGP, we should increment the AS pass number, AS pass, and in iBGP, we don't increment AS pass. Okay, look at here. In iBGP, we don't increment. In eBGP, we increments. We will talk about eBGP and iBGP in many concepts and configuration. But for the first, or for the start, first we start with the eBGP, and then after some explanation about the eBGP, we will talk about the iBGP or internal BGP. Okay, very good. Now you understand one of the important function of the AS pass. I want to show you another usage of AS pass attribute that is so important for us in the future topics. Let's explain it here in this picture. Look at here. I want to show you another example and using the AS pass for an important function. Look at here. Maybe we have, I want to clear the picture for you to better understanding. Okay, here. Look at here. We have 4 AS. This is AS1. Okay, AS1. And this is AS2. And also this is AS3. And again AS4 here. Okay. And we have some routers here. For example, in the AS1 we have R1 and R1 connected to R2 in AS2. And also we have R3 and R4. Here is R3 that is connected to R4. And also beside of this connection, we have a connection between R2 and R3. Okay, between R2 and R3, a link between R2 and R3, and also a BGP connection. Look at here, so easy. R2 and R3. And finally between R1 and R4. Okay, this is our scenario. First, we have BGP, eBGP between these routers. Here, eBGP connection, and again here eBGP, another eBGP, and here eBGP, and also again eBGP. Okay, this is our scenario, and we want to talk about an important function of AS-pass attribute. Second function. The first function of AS-pass is best path selection, using in best path selection, and another function is an important tools that we call it loop prevention. Look at here. In R1, for example, we have net A, and I want to advertise net A that is 1000/24. I want to advertise these routes to other routers. For example, I use this BGP update. This is my BGP update. In the NLRI, I use 1000/24 with the AS-pass attribute of 1. It's okay. You now easily understand it. Okay. And then R2 receive this packet and send it to the R3, because R3 is the neighbor or is the peer of the R2, but increments AS-pass to 1. Okay. After this, R3 should send this update to the, for example, R4. Look at here. R3 receives the packet and advertise it to the R4 with the AS-pass incremented to the 321. Okay, this is the AS-pass. And finally, R4 receives this packet, this BGP update, and should send it to R1, because R4 doesn't know that the packet first advertised from R1 with the AS-pass of 4321. You know that R1 now receives this packet. When R1 receives a packet and checks the AS-pass, a BGP update, and checks the AS-pass and understand and sees that in the AS-pass its AS number exists, AS1, R1 can understand that this packet first originated in this AS or first advertised from this AS. Because of that, it does not accept the packet and removes or discards the BGP update. And this means that the loop prevention mechanism is down with AS-pass attribute, a many important feature in the BGP. Because if R1 doesn't understand that this packet advertised from itself, from R1 before, it should accept the packet, and again the packet should be advertised, and the packet now, the routing update now is in the loop, routing loop. Because of that, R1 should discard this packet, and R1 discard it. And the loop doesn't take care. Discard the routing update. Okay. This is the second function of ASPass. The first function is the best path selection, and the second function is loop prevention mechanism of loop prevention function of ASPass. ASPass has other useful benefits, but we will talk about all of them in the future videos. For now, you understand that ASPass is one of the attributes of BGP and has two functions, at least two functions. One, best path selection rules, used in the best path selection rules or best path selection, and second, loop prevention. Okay, we will talk about other useful functions of this attribute in the future videos. Very good. I think you are now understanding better, or you are understanding more about BGP. But BGP learning is a long way and also easy way, and we should take all of the paths. We should go all of the paths that after that we can understand BGP and use BGP. We can understand concepts and then configuration of BGP, and we can use it in many networks, for example, service provider networks or enterprise networks. Okay? For this video, you should review the topics I mentioned in this video. For example, types of routing protocol, for example, the global specification of BGP, and then how the BGP updates are sent between the routers, what is the eBGP, what is the iBGP, what is the NLRI, what is the usage of the ASPass attribute. And after that, you can come with me to the next video for learning other features of BGP.